Hi friends, today we're going to be talking about comparing and contrasting. Now this skill is not new for us. This is something that we do with our double bubble map, and we've done that in the past, but this is just one of our focuses for our weekly story. So when you contrast something, it means that they're different. It's not the same as something else, so it's how they're different. If you compare things, it's how they're the same. Things that are very like each other in some way. Now sometimes you'll see this Venn diagram, but we do not use that because we use thinking maps. So we'll be using our double bubble map. So what I'm going to do is model a double bubble map today with Clevis, and then you are going to go and make your own double bubble map with Dex and Clevis. Okay? Showing those different things. So as I'm modeling it, I'm going to use some different colors to really show how the things go together. You do not need to use these different colors on yours. You are welcome to, but you do not have to use the different colors. So as with any of our thinking maps, I have my title. So this is my Clevis double bubble map. Now I'm going to be comparing old Clevis, like Clevis at the beginning of the story, with new Clevis. Okay, so you'll be using Clevis too. So maybe if you can pay attention to some of the things that are that I have, you can maybe use them on your Clevis side of your map. So I'm going to be using a couple different colors. So I'm going to use red on my left side for things that represent old Clevis. And I'm going to have my old Clevis in one bubble on this side. And then I'm going to use blue on my other side to represent new Clevis. So anything I write that just has to do with new Clevis is going to be blue, and anything that I write that has to do with just old Clevis is going to be red. So those are my contrasts, how they're different. In the middle, I'm going to write things in purple because that's what they both have in common, and red and blue together make purple. So that's just a way for my eyes to kind of quickly see how things go together. So let's talk about old Clevis first. Well, old Clevis likes to show that he's bigger than Dex, right? So that's one thing that happens at the beginning is that's pretty much the only time they ever talk to Dex, really, is what it says, is when Clevis is standing over him trying to show how he's so much taller than him, right? So in my first bubble, I'm going to put likes to show he is bigger than Dex. And I'm just doing this in red because it just has to do with old Clevis. And remember, I like to do my writing first before I add my circle, just to make it nice and neat, and I connect it to old Clevis. Another thing that old Clevis did was he likes to make fun of Dex in his hero suit. So whenever Dex got his superhero outfit, he was really excited about it. Clevis was not really nice to him about it and just teased him about playing dress up and things like that. So likes to make fun of Dex's outfit. Right, so those are two things that only old Clevis did. Now let's talk about new Clevis. So this is Clevis at the end of the story. Clevis after Dex has saved him and he wants to work alongside him. So new Clevis asks Dex oh my goodness, asks Dex for help. It's like reading a Dr. Seuss book. And that's not something that old Clevis would have done. He would not have asked him for help because he was a bully to him. And so old Clevis would not have asked Dex for help. My goodness. And something else that he does is when Dex does help him, is he thanks Dex for saving him. Again, being polite and kind to Dex is not something that the old Clevis would have necessarily done. He wasn't very nice to Dex, and so new Clevis thanks him for saving him. And the last thing he does is he calls Dex a hero and wants to join him, right? And that is definitely not something old Clevis would have done. Right? So old Clevis likes to show he's bigger than Dex. He likes to make fun of Dex's outfit. New Clevis asks Dex for help, thanks Dex for saving him, and calls Dex a hero. Now, this is Clevis at the beginning of the story and Clevis at the end of the story. Let's talk about what they have in common. Okay, now obviously this is the same person, or animal, same character. So some things are going to be pretty obvious. So both Old Clevis and New Clevis are both tomcats, right? He didn't change form. He's not a different animal now. So they are both a tomcat. So is a tomcat. So the kind of animal he was did not change. So I'm using purple because this is what they have in common. And both Old Clevis and New Clevis live in the same neighborhood as Dex. All right, so something else they have in common. Okay, so remember, when you compare and contrast, you're saying how two things are alike and how they're different. So comparing is how they are alike. So comparing is how they are alike. And contrasting is how they are different. So when you compare and contrast, you talk about both. And that's exactly what we do with a double bubble map. So it's not new for you. This isn't a new concept. It's just another review that we're working on as we get to near the end of the year. So comparing is how they're alike, that's that middle part, and then contrasting is how they're different, and those are the outside pieces. So now you're going to be going and making your own double bubble map, but instead you're going to have Dex on one side and Clevis on the other side, and talk about how they're the same, how they compare, and how they contrast or how they're different. All right, as always, do your best and have a great rest of your day, friends.